I'm Kevin Coleman with David Glass, who is running for one of the two commissioner seats here in Ross County.
Great.
And you just had a gathering here at Petland headquarters, and some very good discussions. But I'm talking with you because you have spoken at the Republican Women of Ross County. That's my standard to cover political races here.
Yeah.
So, what have you? What are your thoughts on your campaign?
So you mentioned the Republican Women and the meet and greet, and one of the things that we've tried to do to make sure that we're getting our message out and sharing an authentic voice of what our vision is to meet with people. Usually it goes the same way. You tell a little bit about your experience and your background, your approach, and then open the floor up for questions. We had that at the Republican Women's, but we've also been in people's homes who have opened their doors to invite their neighbors, or like today, we had business leaders from the community who hit us with some questions, didn't know what any of those questions would be walking into today, and I think we had a really good discussion about what the future looks like for Ross County and how county government can help create an environment that attracts new business and helps the business that's here be successful and grow. And so much of that is based on collaboration across jurisdictions and really having county government set a vision and be a leader, a collaborative leader that puts the community first. And so it was a good discussion, and I'm glad that we got to answer those questions. So.
You mentioned that you work in the energy industry, and it gives you some insights on how you'd like to have things happen locally.
Yeah, so we had a question that was particular to energy, renewable energy, and solar, but really I work as an economic development professional, and I work now for one of Ohio's largest nonprofit electric co-ops, South Central Power. But my role there is economic development within the communities that we serve in parts of 24 counties, including Ross County, and also working with businesses to help them grow. A piece of that is energy, but a lot of economic development, it deals with energy, deals with infrastructure, and it deals with communities putting together a regulatory environment and public policy that attracts and helps businesses be successful.
You had some good insights on a couple big developments outside of Ross County, Sofidel in Pickaway and the battery plant in Fayette County.
Yeah.
So you've studied up on these things, you know how...
Well, yeah, I've been experienced in dealing with those projects. Sofidel in Pickaway County, which does employ a lot of folks in Ross County. I got to be a part of the discussions for the next phase of Sofidel and learned a lot through that process. Pickaway County, when I was the Assistant Director of Economic Development there, we competed for the property or the project that is now the Honda LG plant in Fayette County, which I think will likely employ a lot of Ross County folks as well. We talked about how we go about getting to attract businesses like that, but more importantly, I think we talked about setting a vision as a community for what type of growth we want. Maybe it is large manufacturing, but I think that conversation has to start collaboratively and has to include all the stakeholders within our community throughout Ross County, townships, school districts, county government, and all local jurisdictions need to work together. And in the economic development world, a big billion-dollar manufacturing plant is great to win, but we would call that a whale or maybe a home run or grand slam. I think before you can do that, before you hit a home run, you have to practice your fundamentals, and winning bunts and hitting bunts and hitting base hits is really important too. And we have a lot of opportunity in Ross County and a lot of growth that's already happening thanks to the folks who are here doing good things. I just want to take my experience as an economic development professional and bring that to the Commissioner's office to help guide policy that makes our place a better place to work, live, and play.
And you brought up a topic that's been brought up by several others talking about the county, and that's zoning, especially in regards to the solar farms.
Yeah, so there are townships in the county that are implementing zoning. Much of the solar facilities that are here came before zoning even impacted the decision. That was a law that changed at the state level with Senate Bill 52 a few years ago.
And the commissioners have learned on the job too, in
Yes.
asking more from the developers.
Right, and really, when it comes to zoning, generally that decision is left up to the townships. And so in Ross County, there's one township that has strong zoning against solar in place, but I think what we discussed more was more macro. What do we want to look like as a community? And if we want to grow, how do we grow? And how do we grow in a way that preserves our community feel? And we want to be successful, and we want Ross County to be better and continue toward progress and growth and better jobs for people, but we want to still remain, the way we want to remain our values, which are neighborly, and we don't want to look like Dublin or Columbus. We want to be Ross County and a better version of it. So,
Small town farming.
small town ag is our number one industry in Ross County, and it will be that way for a while. And it has a large impact to our local economy.
So going back, you were part of P3?
Yeah, Pickway Progress Partnership.
Okay,
Yep.
I spoke to you briefly before things changed around when I was covering Circleville Council.
Yeah,
So we've met a few times
Yeah.
in that regard.
yeah.
So you know your economic development.
Yeah, my career started in economic development with the state, in what's now called the Department of Development, and now I've had experience at the state level, at the local level in an adjacent county where there's a lot of growth that's happened over the last decade, which, by the way, wasn't happening 25 years ago when Pickaway County produced picture tube televisions and incandescent light bulbs. And so they've had to find a way to grow and progress. And now I work in the private sector, working across communities to help communities be successful and bring new business or help existing businesses grow and meet the needs of their growth.
In private sector, but still a co-op that has its own magazine.
Yes, yep. Our Ohio Magazine is a well-known and well-liked, and we're South Central Power is a member-owned cooperative, meaning the folks who are served by it own it, and that's one of the taglines: "Proud to be served by you."
All right, David Glass, how can people learn more about your campaign?
The best way to learn about us is to go on Facebook and just search David Glass for Ross County Commissioner, or we have a website, glassforohio.com. Go to our About area, and that tells you my biography, my background, and you can search around and find out why I'm running for commissioner and what I hope to bring to the table.
So Glass for Ohio, not just Ross County?
Well, Glass for Ross County is pretty hard to type, and Glass for Commissioner is very hard to type, and so Glass for Ohio has a good fit. So.
All right. David Glass running for one of the two county commissioner seats in the upcoming election. Thank you very much.
Yep, thanks.